the colorblind painter. Anne was born into a different world. While other children excitedly painted rainbows, she only saw smudges of gray, shapes blending into one another with no beginning and no end. She could not distinguish the red of a rose from the green of its leaves. People called it color blindness. For Anne, it was simply normal. But to the world outside, it was a flaw, a limitation she should have been ashamed of. In kindergarten, she once painted a dark gray sky and a black sun. The children burst into laughter. If the sun is that dark, the world must be ending. Her teacher kindly corrected her, and the sun is yellow. The sky is blue, but Anne asked with genuine curiosity, "How do you know that for sure?" The teacher could not give an answer. Though Anne could not see color, she felt the world in a way no one else did. The softness of a flower petal whispered gentleness to her skin. The sound of ocean waves stirred bold and powerful hues in her imagination. Sunshine felt like a warm color, the color of a mother's embrace. The world had color, just not the color others knew. As she grew older, Anne chose to study fine arts despite mockery and skepticism. Whenever she mixed paints, classmates watched her quietly, waiting for her to make a mistake. "Don't mix up green and red again," they teased. Even the teacher sighed. "You made the wrong choice, Anne." Painting is the art of color. If you cannot see it, what can you possibly create? Anne refused to give up. She believed art was not limited to sight. She painted with emotions. Cold wind became sharp, heavy brush strokes. A smile was a smooth arc spreading light. Pain showed itself in piercing strokes cutting across the canvas. She painted with her heart. Every piece was a map of feelings. One day, the school announced a showcase for the best student works. While others put the finishing touches on perfectly colored pieces, Anne hesitated. She feared no one would understand her art, that her emotions would be rejected by a world obsessed with rules. She almost withdrew her painting, but her one true friend, Min, gently held her trembling hands. "Don't hide what makes you different. That is the color the world is missing." His words were like a flame in her chest. She decided to display her largest work, Melody in the Dark. At the exhibition, lights illuminated her piece. Visitors stopped, staring, not in confusion, but in awe. The colors were impossible to define, chaotic, yet strangely harmonious. Bold strokes collided with soft, flowing curves. The painting did not describe anything familiar, yet everyone felt something powerful inside it. A little girl stood in front of the painting for a very long time and nervously asked, "Do you think it looks strange?" The child shook her head, eyes sparkling. "It feels happy when I smile, and sad when I almost cry." "What did you paint with, miss?" Anne smiled. "With feelings." When art critics arrived, they were shocked to hear the artist was colorblind. One remarked, "Because she is free from the rules of color theory, she has created something truly beautiful." This isn't a mistake. It is a new language of color. News spread quickly. Galleries wanted her work. Researchers wanted to understand how she chose colors by pure instinct. Anne finally realized the thing that once made her insecure had become her most extraordinary gift. During an interview, she spoke calmly, proudly. "People see color with their eyes. I see it with my heart. When we lose a limit, we gain a vision others never had." She kept painting, not to prove anything anymore, but to share the beauty of a world unbound by visual norms. At her first solo exhibition, Anne stood before a new painting titled My Light. She gently closed her eyes. She didn't need sight to feel the colors radiating from within her. And in that moment, she understood. A limitation is not a locked door. Sometimes it opens a path no one has ever walked before. And that light is hers alone to see. The scientist who grew flowers from ashes. In a small town nestled between fertile valleys, there was an old botanical lab that people jokingly called the place for dreamers. In that lab worked a young scientist named Anne, someone who carried more hope than most people could understand. Since childhood, she believed that every living thing, no matter how tiny, deserved a chance to grow. When others saw a seed as just a dot, she saw a future forest. When they saw a dry branch, she imagined leaves dancing in the wind. But the world is not always kind to dreamers. Day and night, and experimented tirelessly, searching for ways to restore nutrients to the soil. The land in her town had once been rich, but years of farming without renewal had drained its strength. Crops failed, farmers worried, yet they clung to traditional methods, the same ones passed down through generations. To grow plants, you use fertilizer, not ashes. They said ashes are useless. They're the final remains after everything burns. One afternoon, while Anne was measuring pH levels of the soil, she overheard a farmer complaining. The soil is exhausted. Nothing grows well anymore. We have piles of kitchen ash we want to throw away, but nobody wants it. Ash. A spark ignited in her mind. Ash was not just waste. It was the remains of trees and plants filled with minerals like potassium, calcium, and magnesium. What if the very thing people threw away could restore life to the earth? Her heartbeat raced. She rushed outside, asking villagers for all the ash they had. They stared at her strangely, some amused, others pitying. What strange idea are you trying now? Ash is trash. But Anne gently replied, if fire turns everything into ash, maybe ash is what allows life to begin again. On the first day, she mixed ash into the soil. The smell of burnt wood clung to her hands and hair. The gray soil looked dull and lifeless. She planted tiny sunflower seeds, a flower that always seeks the sun, just like her own hope. Days passed. Nothing grew. People laughed. See? Ash only kills the soil faster. A senior colleague pulled her aside. You should focus on real research. The world needs results, not dreams. Anne said nothing, but every evening, after the city lights turned on and labs emptied out, she stayed behind. She adjusted the mixture, added water carefully, reduced the alkalinity, trying again and again. Hope and doubt wrestled inside her every single day. Then one morning, touched by the first sunlight, she noticed something. A tiny green sprout broke through the gray soil. So small, so fragile, but alive. Her eyes filled with tears. No one else saw the miracle yet. To others, it was just a weak stem. To her, it was proof. As the days passed, more seedlings appeared. Stronger, greener, healthier than those grown in ordinary soil. She recorded every sign: faster growth, thicker stems, stronger roots. The soil, once dying, was alive again because of the ash. But life still had challenges for her. A violent thunderstorm struck one night. The lab roof leaked. Water poured onto the plants. Many seedlings fell over, drowning in mud. When Anne arrived the next morning, her heart sank. Her garden looked like a battlefield. She carefully lifted each tiny plant, wiping away the mud, hands shaking, eyes burning. What if they're right? What if I'm only chasing foolish dreams? Then she looked at her hands. dirty and tired, and whispered to herself, "If I give up now, nothing new will ever grow." Summer arrived, and with it, a miracle. The flowers returned, rising even stronger, as if the storm had taught them how to live. Their stems were thicker, their colors brighter. They did not just survive, they thrived. One morning, the first sunflower bloomed, then another, and another. Golden petals opened like tiny suns, more vibrant than any sunflower grown the traditional way. News spread quickly. People from town came to see this garden of miracles. Their doubtful eyes turned into awe. An elderly woman softly said, "What we think is useless can still become something beautiful." The head of the research center shook her hand proudly. "You made us remember what science truly is, daring to try what others believe is impossible." Newspapers featured her achievement. Universities invited her to speak. Farmers began applying her method, and fields once dry and barren slowly turned green again. That night, Anne stood alone in the garden as a gentle breeze brushed the petals. She touched a flower still holding drops of dew and closed her eyes. Ash, the ending of fire. Flowers, the beginning of life. People are quick to throw away what looks ruined, past mistakes, painful memories, parts of themselves they feel ashamed of. But those very things can become the nutrients that make us stronger, just like ash nourished the flowers. Anne smiled and whispered, "Nothing is truly useless. It may just be waiting for the right place to grow." The sunflowers swayed softly, as if agreeing, all of them lifting their faces toward the light. Message of the story: even what looks like ashes can become the soil for new life. Our struggles, our failures, our sorrows, they can help us rise, bloom, and shine again. The builder who didn't use a ruler. In a small hillside village where rooftops leaned toward the morning sun, there lived a builder named Lamb. He was humble, quiet, with thoughtful eyes. But he had one strange habit. He never used a measuring tool. While others carried rulers, plumb lines, and laser levels, Lamb relied solely on his calloused hands, the sun's shadow, and the slope of the earth beneath his boots. People thought he was insane. How can he build anything accurate without measuring? One tiny mistake and the whole house will collapse. Yet every structure he built stood firm against storms and looked so naturally flawless. Light entered exactly where it should. Roofs angled perfectly to welcome wind, but never let tiles fly away. Walls, though built without rulers, stood impressively straight. Instead of admiration, jealousy filled the air. His success became a threat. Rumors grew sharp like knives. He builds with feelings? Ridiculous. He'll bring disaster to our profession. Kick him out. Then came a life-changing opportunity. He was chosen to build the biggest house in town. The spotlight turned harsher. Every move he made was watched. Whispers carved into his pride like blades. He doesn't measure anything. Wait until his work collapses. But Lamb kept building. He tapped bricks together, listening for the perfect sound. He used the midday sun to find the perfect vertical line. Every time he laid a stone down, he closed his eyes for a few seconds, as if listening to the earth itself. He trusted nature. He trusted his senses. He trusted himself. But pressure grew heavier. Doubts hit him like cold wind in the night. Am I wrong? Am I just a foolish dreamer in a world ruled by numbers? His hands shook. His heart shook. His faith trembled. Then, one full moon night at the half-built home, Moonlight traced glowing paths along the bricks. A calm breeze nudged his chin upward. His heart thudded. Nature was guiding him. He heard a soft whisper in his mind. Man invented tools to measure. But creation set its measures long before tools existed. Fear dissolved. Confidence surged like a rising tide. He worked faster, bolder, stronger, eyes shining like distant stars. Finally, the grand day arrived. Villagers gathered, eager to witness his failure, to laugh, to mock. But when the covering cloth was removed, silence fell. The house stood like it had grown organically from the ground. Perfectly straight walls, openings aligned with sun paths, tiles curved like music written in the sky. Just then, a sudden gust blew hard. The roof shivered, then held strong and unyielding. A stunned engineer whispered, "Precision," down to every breath. People stood speechless. Those who mocked him lowered their gaze, swallowed by shame. Someone asked, "How did you measure everything so perfectly?" Lamb placed his palm on the warm wall and replied, "I did not measure with tools. I measured by listening. Nature never makes mistakes. We just forgot how to feel it." And a message spread across every soul. Sometimes, intuition is more accurate than formula. Not everything true can be measured. Trust your experience. Trust your instinct. Trust yourself. That day, the builder, who never used a ruler, built not only a house, but rebuilt humanity's faith in the power of what the heart knows long before the eyes do.